Sometimes the biggest challenge that we have is getting space to ourselves so we can think through what we're dealing with, create solutions, and honor what we really want in life. There are so many people who are willing to tell us what to do, how to be, how to think, how to show up. There's all of these expectations that are placed on us, and it can be tough to keep up with. Did I think that originally? Did someone implant that in me? Am I honoring my truth, or am I following along with what I think I need to do in order to be accepted? It's challenging. And sometimes we just need a little bit of space to just step back, take a breather, and really get clear on what we want. So I have so many times where there's just this opportunity to shift things and to honor like what's true and real, and it can be difficult to take that space because so many people are quick to tell us like what they're thinking, and it's not always relevant, it's not always helpful, and I don't think that they have bad intentions. I just feel like it's easy to just react to things and say whatever comes to mind. I'm Latia, and I just really like working with people and having like great conversations where we can create that space where instead of trying to perform or people please or do what seems like the best next step, it's like, let's just be authentic and real. And I am a very opinionated person, very thoughtful. I have lots of things that I notice and like to honor in myself and others. And sometimes I wonder, I'm like, yeah, I know I'm not coachable. I'm not open. I'm like very rigid. And it's not always because like I'm trying to be mean, but sometimes it's just that like there are just things that people say and it's like, you're like telling me what I'm telling you, and I don't understand why we're having this conversation. And I think it's interesting because I don't think anyone means any harm by it. And I hope that like I don't put things on people where they're just like, oh my gosh, you keep telling me what I already know. It's like, I think it's just like that process of discovery where we're learning like what's valuable, what makes a difference. And I feel like a lot of people, I am a multifaceted person. And a lot of people are either intimidated by me or feel uncomfortable around me or have all of these like different opinions of like what I can and cannot handle. And it's interesting to hear, especially the preconceived notions, because I know I met someone and ended up sitting to eat with them, and before it, they were like, I thought you might be crazy or rude or obnoxious or just really difficult. And I had done nothing. Like, I think I asked someone like, oh, hey, I thought I knew you. Oops, my bad. So I had an embarrassing moment. So I was more just like, dang, that was awkward. And I was like, oh, you look familiar. Oh, you're doing this program. Oh, let's talk. And it's just interesting how many people are like intimidated by me. And it's like, secretly, I'm a sweetheart. I'm very accepting of people. I like people as they are. For the most part, unless I don't like you, then it's like, obviously, I don't like you as you are, but I'm human. And even with the people where I'm just like, I just don't care for you, it's like, I'm not going to try to change you or make you something you're not. It's more like, okay, if I have to work with you, then it's like, let me do my best to be professional. And then if I don't have to work with you or don't have to deal with you, then it's just like, great, that's awesome. But when it comes down to who we think we need to be, I know I was like reading through this draft of like a book that I'm like working on, and I really like this idea of identity and who do we think we are and how do we show up, and can we really trust anything? I don't even know if I trust my own senses and perception sometimes, because it's possible that I am not even interpreting things the way that I think that I am, or that I'll notice something in such a way where it's like, you know, on one day makes me happy, another day upsets me. Another day, perfectly fine. But there's so many factors that goes into it, because I know like right now it's like nighttime, it's a little late, I've had a long conversation and I'm a little bit depleted, so I'm like tired. Yet I'm also having a conversation with someone fun and I'm like, wow, so much possibility. So I'm just like scattered, a little bit lucid, a little bit excited, like what's gonna happen next? And it's okay. But it's like, who am I wanting to be? And my partner's like, dang, I got like low-key crabby on the end of my call and I feel bad. But I also honored it. I shared, I was honest. And I don't like, that person like let me know that they can handle it. So I'm like, okay, it'll be fine. But I do find it interesting because I definitely am someone who is like willing to push buttons and trigger people and upset people and be difficult. I know some people ask me, oh, they'll just be like, hey, checking in. And it's just like, what do you want? And I don't mean it to be like rude. I'm not trying to be like, oh, what do you want? Like, but it's just like what do you want? Why are you reaching out? What do you need? Like, what's going on? And more because it's like, sometimes it's just tough, like managing a lot of conversations, especially via text, because a lot of people don't text well. It either goes very, very well and I am engaged and they're engaged and we're getting each other and we're having these conversations and it's great, or it's really awkward, it's like pulling teeth, and it's just like, wow, we should either meet in person or have a phone call or do whatever is okay so that we can really understand where the other is coming from, because this medium is just not working. And there's nothing wrong with if something doesn't work. It's just like, we just have to honor it and like switch gears. But at the same time, there's this, I think something that we sometimes have challenges with are honoring that there are differences in relationships. There are people that I'm willing to just talk to for hours about nothing and everything, and that's okay with me. There are people where it's tough for me to just spend 5 minutes on a call because it just doesn't add value. It's just not that interesting. It's just really boring. It just may not be like that type of relationship where we can do that. But maybe that same person that I don't want to have a conversation with on the phone, I can hang out with and we can spend hours together in person and it works. Or maybe it's like, just the different relationships that we have where it's like, oh, I only see you when I go to this location, or we only do these things. And I know that Brendon Burchard talks about like the different levels of friends, where you have your old friends that you don't keep in touch with, you have maintenance friends that you do like just enough to keep up with, and then you have your growth friends and the people that you are growing with and you enhance each other's lives and you're a contribution, and it becomes this magical space where everyone's growing and getting better instead of it feeling stagnant or stuck. And I feel like sometimes we get stuck in our relationship with ourselves. We're thinking of ourselves as we were 2 years ago, and it's like, we're new people now. I know I get stuck in ideas of who I think I am or who I should be, where it's like, I find myself to be a bit lazy. And I don't try to be lazy, but I've also been told that I'm lazy since I was a kid. So even though I'm willing to like work really hard at jobs, I've done a lot of track, I've worked on a variety of projects, and I've put a lot of time and effort in, there's still a part of me that's just like, oh, I'm just lazy. It makes sense that I'm not getting this thing done or putting in that much work. Like, of course, like that's just who I am. And it's like, I don't need to do that. I can change my narrative and honor that. Like, no, I do work hard. I do put the effort in. I am a person of excellence. And in those areas where I'm not, what can I do to create the excellence that I desire and the emotions that I want? But when we give ourselves the space to get creative and really step back and honor where we're at, that's when we get to be powerful and we get to show up as how we choose to be instead of what defaults are in place. So share. Are you working on anything? Like, comment, let me know if you found this to be helpful. Please share this and maybe make someone's day. And I hope you just take the time to honor your journey, how far you've come, and how far you're going, because there's still so much to come. And I wish you a great day and hope to see you next time.